In the first part of this video, I had spoken about how to do some natural things like getting exercise into your routine, managing your diet, doing pranayams, and also ensuring that you fix your sleep so that you can be a far more relaxed person. In this second part of the video, I'm going to focus on mindfulness. Now, the natural means is providing a foundation for you. Your body is prepared, your mind is prepared, you're far more relaxed, you're far more alert, you have clarity. Yet, I'm saying you may be triggered, you may be reactive, you may have a lot of negative emotions and challenges. Why? And let me just give you a very, very simple example and a real life story. This was a story that happened with the great basketball player Kobe Bryant. At one point in time, when they were almost about to win the championship, and he had the 3 shots that he could take and he could help his team win the match, he couldn't make any of those shots count. They lost the match, and he was holding his head and sitting on the bench just before he left the court. All the reporters, they thought that he was very sad, etc. And when he came out, they managed to get 2 minutes with him, and they all asked him, "What kind of emotions were you facing, etc." He just turns at them and says, "Look, man, it was nothing about emotions. I was sitting there and figuring out why I could not score. It was nothing about emotions." Do you understand this? So that's how great people have trained their minds. They're not indulging in emotions at that point in time. Now, what does it have to do with our subject of the video? And this is where mindfulness comes in. The simple thing that we are getting triggered, the simple thing that we are reacting to a situation, the simple thing that we have anger, irritability, sorrow, grief, or jealousy, or any other emotions in that particular point, is that set of people, that situation is triggering us. It's triggering our emotions. Our emotions are not in our control. What do? That's where mindfulness comes in. Sit down and make a complete list of the various situations that trigger you. What are the situations where you are at a loss of words? What are the kind of situations where you get very angry? What are the situations where you get frustrated? What are the kind of situations which bring a lot of gloom and sadness inside you? Or what kind of people do you find it difficult to handle? Who do you find it difficult saying no to, and you get overwhelmed? When do you choke? When do you become nervous? Put down those things, right? Now, it may not be 100% list, but try to get to almost all the common things that you experience. Once you've got your fundamental list of situations, people, places where you get triggered, and this, when I said places, this will also be, places that you go where memories come flashing by. Put down all those in the list. The second step for you to do is to construct a set of responses, an alternate healthy set of responses that you need. And that's the most powerful mindfulness exercise that you can do for yourself. So triggers on one side and alternate responses. Remember, emotions are coming up because you don't have a better way of responding. If you already have a better way of responding, it's not the emotions that will engage, it is the thought process that will engage, the approach, the process will engage. So you are offering yourself against the trigger a set of processes that you can use. Like when you have a tendency to scream at a loved one or get irritated with a coworker, instead of that, what should you say to yourself? What should you do? Should you distance yourself? Is there a certain set of words that you need to choose? Are you putting a restriction that these are the only phrases that I will speak when I am triggered? Or if you are at the loss of words, what would you say? What's your escape response at that point in time? Or what's your reset response at that point in time? Put those things down. A good coach, a friend, a lot of self-help literature, many articles on the internet can really help you prepare this set of responses. Trust me, there's enough of material out there. You just have to follow this process, use a little bit of reading, researching, working with somebody intelligent, and your list will be ready. Great. You have your triggers, you have your responses. What do you do now? Third step. This is the most important step of the mindfulness training, which is desensitizing yourself. Desensitizing yourself from the triggers, and sensitizing and priming yourself to the responses. You've made the list, but you have to anchor this list inside you. The first way that you can do is multiple times just go on reading that list, the triggers and what do you do, triggers and what do you do. You're basically storing it in your memory. You're making it a part of your second nature. That priming process is bringing the alertness. Multiple times when you put it in, it'll start getting encoded. That's the first step that you can do. In a way, you are memorizing, but here I'm not asking you to memorize by sitting and mugging it up. By just multiple times reading this list, it could be like 3 times a day, but every single day in the week for the next 30 to 60 days. Just sensitize yourself. And if there's anything new that you add to the list, go through the same process. The other way to do this is ask a loved one, a friend or a partner or an accountability partner to play the list at you, saying, okay, if this trigger happens, what will you do? This happens, what would you do? And you can even discuss with some people that, oh, what are the other alternate responses? Have you heard something or have you done something in a situation like this? Add that to the list. So that almost is like a role-playing exercise or a quick rapid response. So and you could even get somebody to do like a timed quiz, a rapid challenge at you. It's practicing. And then comes the third thing, that deliberately engaging with those trigger situations, meeting those people, going to those situations, going to those places and engaging and putting what you have decided into practice, which is the real life situation. A few times you may have some reaction, but as you keep training yourself, that desensitization and sensitization will really settle in. Desensitization from the trigger and sensitization and priming and practice of the alternate responses, they will settle down. This, my friends, is mindfulness. So I'll repeat what I just said so that you are able to use the foundation of a healthy body and mind through the exercise, diet, pranayama and sleep control that you've prepared. To deal with a situation, you need mindfulness. Mindfulness will come by you listing your triggers down, listing alternate responses and practicing them, and then engaging with life and practicing it. So that's what the first 2 parts of my video have basically given you. Practice both of these things and you will be a far more grounded, receptive human being. You will get triggered far less. You will be a lot more accustomed to thought out, trained responses. Body and mind training. That's what we have covered. In the third part of the video, I want to talk about certain health issues and health challenges which could still have you be a triggered person. And more on that when we speak a little bit more.